Juan Soto told everybody immediately after the World Series, and I mean immediately, I mean standing there in the Yankees locker room, that he's available. He considers himself to be available to all 30 teams in Major League Baseball. Last I checked, one of those 30 teams is based in Pittsburgh. Good morning to you. Good Friday morning. I'm Dejan Kovacevic of DK Pittsburgh Sports. This is Daily Shot of Pirates. It comes your way bright and early every weekday. If you're into football and or hockey, I also offer daily shots of Steelers and Penguins. Stick with me on this because it's worth it. The Pirates can't afford Soto. I mean, they can't even come close to affording Soto, right? Okay. That's just conventional wisdom. If it's not universally accepted, it's got to be really close to universally accepted, and bringing it up here is just completely comical. No, I mean all of that. I mean all of that. There's no but in this. However, see, you can do a however when we're going to have a but, and you're trying to avoid saying but, so you say however instead. However, let me throw some math at you. Just for fun. Soto comes to Pittsburgh. Soto signs a deal that's for $30 million a year. And I know he'll actually end up getting more than that. But for my math purposes, if it's not Soto, it's somebody else that would be in the $30 million range. So Soto comes and the public goes totally nuts. Just, wow, this is just a whole new outlook for the Pirates and the management and even Bob Nutting and the people who own them. And we just can't believe this happened. They're taking Paul Skeens seriously and Jared Jones and Mitch Keller. And now with Soto coming here, everybody's going to want to come to the Pirates. And it's going to be a lot like what happened in San Diego when the Padres started spending big, even though they're in a market the same size as Pittsburgh. And just joy all around. In turn, and fairly so, the Pirates raise ticket prices, which is something that they almost can't ever do. Like, they'll sneak in a ticket price on those incredibly rare occasions whenever they have a decent season. But for the most part, they're still stuck with prices the way they are, and they remain among the cheapest in all of major professional sports. I mean, imagine right now if they raised prices. Okay, you get the picture. But in this scenario, it's like, okay, I mean, if you're going to go get Soto, I'm going to pay up here. Where do I get my season tickets? And everything else starts booming as well. Everything around them starts booming. Yeah, all of the merchandise gets split by all 30 teams. So it's not really about merch, but the ratings go higher. The confidence level in future payrolls and future revenues goes higher. Soto becomes the tide that raises all ships. Are you laughing? Don't laugh. Don't laugh. This is, just wait for me on this, okay? All right. So the average ticket price goes up to $30. It's currently around 21 or 22. I haven't looked at that in a while, but that's what it was not that long ago. And again, they don't raise prices. $30, right? Multiply that by 20,000. And the 20,000 that I'm counting is all the rest of the seats at PNC Park, not to mention suites and sponsorships and everything else, okay? Then multiply that by the number 41, which is obviously the number of home games. The number that lands on my calculator here is 24.6 million. You see where I'm going here? Okay. That money did not exist before Soto. That money had absolutely no chance of existing before Soto. And I'll repeat that there are other monies that will be coming along with this. Which major sponsor wouldn't want to have a huge presence inside the ballpark? So you can get that figure up to 30 million with a snap of a finger. Now, where did I get this crazy notion? The correct answer to that is about a decade ago, I spent an entire summer going back and forth with super agent Scott Boras. We talked what felt like day and night for about 4 months. This was around the time that Pedro Alvarez had been drafted by the Pirates. Boris was representing him. They were in this really tense battle between Boris and Frank Coonley, the team president at the time. Boris wanted to get the upper hand locally with the fans, so he came to me. And one of the things that he'd bring up a lot, was that if Nutting were to ever invest in the team, in the Pirates, that it would take no more than a grade school education to sit down and show him the very tangible benefits. I share with you guys often that the 3 most profitable seasons of Nutting's tenure as owner were 2013 to 2015. What a coincidence. Not the 3 biggest revenues, the 3 biggest profits, profit margins, money made came in those seasons. And I present all of this to you today, not as some grand absurdity, but more to just think about what it is that could be done and could be done in a fiscally responsible, if not fiscally even more profitable manner. When we come back, J1Q.
It's Gun Storage Check Week. Help prevent unwanted access to your firearms. No one wants their unsecured gun to be used in an accident, a suicide, or a crime. Use lockboxes, safes, and locks to secure your firearms. Learn more at gunstoragecheck.org. That's gunstoragecheck.org. Brought to you by NSSF, the Firearm Industry Trade Association.
Today's J1Q comes from Ken White. It's a little long, but it's worth it. It's a really interesting thought. Ken says, I was thinking out of nowhere that if we were all to transport back in time to the 1940s, 50s, and early 60s, could the same thing be said of the chief, Art Rooney Sr., as the Steelers owner as they currently are about Bob Nutting? The Steelers had the track record as far as losing and so forth, and then all of a sudden, everything turned around. It came together. Chuck Noll, scouting, talent assessment, the underfunding was solved by NFL TV money, and I'm here thinking, could Paul Skeens be the Joe Green in this scenario? Could the nice guy / bad owner Nutting become the Rooney just by hanging around long enough that he got smart? Whew. Well, there's only one scenario in which even the first part of your little play here can begin, and that's with a salary cap. That's with a hardcore shut it down, bust the union cap. That's it. And by cap, of course, for those of you who are new to the program, I mean a cap system, which always has a ceiling and a floor and a tight range somewhere around 20 million, which requires everybody to spend into it. And could the Pirates look a whole lot better in a salary cap system? Sure. They'd be competitive, and they'd be competitive beginning with free agency days, whereas you won't hear anything about them for, months in this environment and this winter. So there'd be a more positive vibe and so forth. But I'll ask you right back, Ken, how would a salary cap help Nutting make better hires? How would it help Nutting instill greater accountability? How would it lead to a better drafting, international, and even big league acquisition methodology? How would it contribute to real live development at the minor league levels, or real live instruction, ongoing enforcement of instruction once those players are in Pittsburgh? It wouldn't. It wouldn't. And this is the number one reason that, as much as I will passionately advocate that all sports, without baseball as the lone exception, should have a cap, I'll also say again and again and again that payroll is the least of the Pirates' problems. It's one of them. It's on the list, and it's probably pretty high up on the list. But it's not the main ones. It's not the main things that make nutting a failed owner. I appreciate the question. I appreciate everybody listening to Daily Shot of Pirates. We're going to have another one of these on Monday.